So we got the recent announcement that Don Cheadle's Armored Wars is going to transition from a Disney Plus series now to a full feature-length theatrical release movie. And with that kind of news, it's a little bit alarming. We've heard some of the rumors that are going on with the Blade film, and just we know how films productions, when you start swaying a little bit back and forth, it looks a little bit dangerous, especially with the MCU lineup is already stocked as it is. I'm not sure we're going to fit the Armored Wars movie. So, in my opinion, I think that film is on the chopping block. I think within a year, we're going to get the cancellation of that film / series, the War Machine. But my question for you, Black Comic Lords, is with Colonel James Rhodes with War Machine. We have Riri Williams showing up in Wakanda Forever. Seems like she's getting the suit and she's going to be taking over the mantle for Iron Man. With War Machine, what is the appeal? What can they do for the film that would make it appealing for people to go see it in theaters? What could they do with the War Machine movie? What are some of the things and the feats of War Machine that they can incorporate to make this thing appealing? And why do we need a War Machine movie when we have Riri Williams coming up and about to take over for Tony Stark? That would be my question for you, Black Comic Lords. Appreciate it.
Jim Rhodes. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because, again, he's not T'Challa. So everybody that's not T'Challa and Storm is not a lead. They ain't nothing. They sidekicks, right? That's how black folks look at characters that's not T'Challa nowadays. A lot of them, not all, but a lot of black folks look at it like that. Now, to be fair, I mean, these ain't the guys that actually read comics. These are the folks that only show up when it's time to watch the movies and the shows, right? And their perspective is always limited to, oh, well, you're partnered with a white guy, so you're just a sidekick who's not, you're not important. You're just there to help the white guy out. And granted, bro, like I get optically how it looks, but guess what? We're in a new day now. This is 2022. From the time of this recording, and Rhodes finna get his own movie. They don't give sidekicks their own movie. That man has graduated. If nothing else, he's graduated. Let's put that sidekick mess that we use, that we weaponized, and let's put that behind us. Rhodes finna get his movie. Let's go and support him just as hard as we will support everybody else. Like I said, he's not T'Challa. He's not a Storm. He's not Blue Marvel. But folks sit up here and want to cry, oh, they keep race swapping characters. Well, guess what? Here's an original black character that's a lead now. Let's get behind him. Put all that, let's bury the hatchet. Let's stop crying with fake outrage. Let's go and support this brother. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. I want to see black folks coming out and supporting War Machine. And I'm going to tell you something else about War Machine. War Machine got one of the best suits, if not the best suits. Tony Stark's suit is kind of a little bit of everything, but War Machine's suit is built for war. He's ready to fight whoever, whatever, whenever. All right, he's got everything, bro. One of the things that I want to make mention to that I think is very, very important is that, the biggest consumer, I tell you this all the time, the biggest consumer of these movies is white males. And the first thing they're going to think when they see Jim Rhodes, oh, go woke, go broke, why is he a lead? And then black folks, again, go trash him on social media as well. Oh, why do we have this sidekick? Why is he doing this? You're going to have that, right? The biggest thing for this movie that they're going to probably do is that they're going to they're going to surround War Machine with white superheroes and white characters. I mean, it's sort of like what they did with Miles and Into the Spider-Verse. If you look at that movie carefully, when that movie first came out, folks was crying, oh, wow, we got to get a black Spider-Man, da-da. Listen, man, this is America. Race still plays a heavy toll on these characters, bro. But one of the things that they did very, very smart was they surrounded Miles with a lot of white characters. When they started adding Spider-Gwen and all those other people, all of a sudden white folks start perking up. Oh, it's going to be a great movie. We're going to go out and see it. I'm gonna be. I hate to say it. We need their dollars. We need their dollars because black folks will go out and see it, but we ain't gonna go out and see it like we would go out and see Black Panther, and that's and maybe rightfully so. But they surrounded Miles with tons of white characters, and it prompted that movie won a freaking Oscar. Now listen, I'm about to say something. War Machine was the shiz in the 90s, okay? Dude was all over cartoons, bro. He was the shiz. Like, when I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. I ain't know nothing about Black Panther. I ain't know too much about Luke Cage. But freaking War Machine was everywhere. Video games. He had merch out there. And granted, you know, Iron Man helped because he was attached to Iron Man. I mean, all day long. Yo, this is way before Falcon, Luke Cage, War Machine, all them boys got. I mean, War Machine showed up in like every cartoon in the 90s that had something to do with Marvel superheroes. I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom video game. I mean, T'Challa didn't even show up until the X-Men as a cameo briefly. Then he showed up in one time in the Fantastic Four cartoon. That was it. I mean, humble beginnings. Around this time, Wesley Snipes was trying to get a movie going. I mean, but Falcon was still the guy as well, man. Like, you know, the first character to ever have an action, first black character to ever have an action figure ever. For G.I. Joe, for all that, way back in the 70s. War Machine had toys, all right? Way back in the day. I mean, let's put some respect on War Machine's name. Oh, he's wearing white man's armor, white man's legacy. Yo, all these characters are white on. All right, all these characters are white hand-me-down, man. We got to move past that, man. It's time to turn the page.
I mean, Luke Cage was cool, but Falcon and War Machine ruled the 90s. Do you research where? If you want to talk about household name, people talked about War Machine in the 90s. People talk about Falcon was in cartoons. Falcon was a lead in the first ever Avengers cartoon, since the 60s and the 90s. Come on, man. These dudes tripping, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm a 90s kid, man, and you're right, man. I was growing up, Marvel vs. Capcom. War Machine was a beast in that joint, bro. And the Iron Man cartoon, he was in that joint. Who went against Venom in the Spider-Man animated series? War Machine did. And he had comics. He said he had action figures. Like, War Machine was like, I'm gonna tell you, the big two, right, in the 90s, for like comic book wise. No, the big three. The big three, in my opinion, for black male superheroes in the 90s, right, was War Machine, was John Stewart, and Bishop from the X-Men. Those were the three. Now Falcon was in that Avengers series. It was not that great. The one that premiered in the 90s on Fox Kids. I know which one you're talking about, because that wasn't really a good show. But he was in there. You know what I'm saying? He was in there. I was like, okay, well, I know. Okay, that's Falcon. Cool. But War Machine was in the 90s. War Machine was that dude. War Machine was that dude in the 90s. He was in the video games. He had cartoons. He had action figures. Like Black Panther, really, to be honest with you. Outside if you don't watch Fantastic Four, how would you not know about Black Panther? You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't play if you didn't watch the Fantastic Four animated series, how would you know Black Panther even existed? Because I didn't. I watched Fantastic Four cartoon, and I missed that episode, so I never saw that. I only knew about Black Panther until I was in like high school. You know what I'm saying? When I had a little more access to the internet, and the show on BET came on, the animated motion comic joint. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, yeah, BP was not really a thing, man. It was not really a thing in the 90s at all. You know, I mean, Bishop being in that cartoon animated series, the X-Men, he had a figure. I had a Bishop figure. Cool dude from the future, whooped ass. And then John Stewart, Justice League, Dwayne McDuffie writing. And you're like, say no more. You know what I'm saying? The crossover Static Shock. Come on now. Come on now. But it's just the way the character was presented in the MCU, that he was relegated to that role. But a movie and a TV show could really expand the character and make Rhodey, I guess, cool again, like he was in the 90s. Luke Cage was not a thing. Luke Cage was honestly a joke for us 90s. He was like, oh, that's the blaxploitation guy. as a kid, or teenager or whatever, like learning about these heroes and whatnot, he was like the funny over the top 70s blaxploitation guy as a kid growing up. So, but yeah, War Machine was that guy, man. War Machine was that guy, bro. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. Hyper combo finished, man. Hyper combo finished.
And let me say this, man. We ain't trashing Black Panther. He's an awesome character. I got most of all of his keys. Like, he's a dope character. It's just that I feel like we can do both. When it's time to celebrate Black characters, we can do more than just 1 or 2 or 3. We do several of them. And a lot of the barriers are stuff like legacy. And my thing is this. If your last name comes from a white man, you a legacy character. I'm a legacy character. My last name is freaking Lewis. Oh, well, what about his armor? He's using a white man's armor. Guess what? You ride around in a white man's car every day. So, let's turn the page. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. We out.